Okay, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to have a little bit of lunch, and we're going to continue watching She Walks in Beauty. This is going to be part 2, and we'll finish this episode later on tonight. I just got home. I had to go out and buy a new toaster because mine seems to be working only when it wants to. My toaster is the only toaster I've ever owned. So I bought a much nicer one, a 4-slicer. Not that I needed it. I'm gonna try it out today, but or at least make sure it works. But I'm gonna continue using the same old toaster until it no longer toasts. And I had to buy a new sink aerator. That's the thing that screws into the tap or to the faucet and regulates the amount of water coming through. I don't know what happened to mine, but water just started going everywhere. And when I was coming home, I went past the train yard and got stopped by a train. So I grabbed my phone and filmed it on my phone. So you'll be seeing that video coming up pretty soon. And I'd sit there for about 10 minutes, and with the heater going, I just got way overheated, so I'm a little warm. And that's all right. It's kind of a sunny day out. Not sunny, but it's same old thing. A little bit of spitting rain, and apparently more snow is on the way. So I did go for my walk, and I walked all around the big department store, appliance store, and got quite a bit of exercise today. So anyway, let's continue. We're going to start at 16 minutes here and continue watching She Walks in Beauty. Here we go.
Hey, I reckon it does. Sort of nice sound, too. I mean, it's one that us folks here understand.
Right.
Well, I don't know if it would be right for a person like me.
Oh, sure it'd be right.
As I mentioned, Hoss is kind of pushing her.
Person came along,
Pressuring
right as
her.
rain.
Can it ever really be like that, Hoss?
Sure.
He thinks so, but
I mean, you get married, build yourself a house, raise a family.
in this
Like
episode,
they say, grow old.
Hoss kind of asks for it, I think, a little bit. He doesn't really know
Worried
her,
about for a long time yet, Miss Reagan.
but he's assuming that,
Come on,
She's
you two. We're going
very-
to have coffee inside. It's getting chilly out
exactly
here.
what he wants. And
Amelia was right. It is
Anyway.
chilly out here. Let's go in.
Fine.
he's just following hook, line, and sinker.
You know, I think the Cartwrights actually enjoyed having dinner outside. What were you and Hoss talking about?
I think Hoss wants to marry me, Amelia.
Oh. Well, you're considering it.
Yes, I am. You know, you were right. Hoss is different from any man I've ever known.
Well, did you tell him anything about yourself?
No.
Aren't you afraid it might come up?
Yeah.
Strangely enough, I don't think it would make any difference. Do you know, Amelia? He talked about growing old together. You know, I never thought about that. Growing old.
I don't think she really takes advantage of him, but she should have told him in the beginning. But then we wouldn't have this great episode to watch. I wonder how they get that terribly green grass out there. We'd have to haul water
Well,
from
good
the
morning,
well.
Mr. Cartwright.
Morning, Miss Reagan.
I'm just having some coffee. Will you join me?
Well, I'd like to very much, but I have so many things I must do in town. My son Adam is coming in tomorrow. And tomorrow evening we have a little dinner party at our home, and we were hoping that you and your sister would join us, just family.
Well, we'd be delighted. Hoss has told us so much about Adam.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a great deal to talk about in common. He's just spent the past few weeks in San Francisco.
San Francisco?
Yes.
San Francisco.
Would 7 o'clock tomorrow be all right?
Yes. Yes, that would be fine.
Good, we'll be expecting you. Morning.
Like when Adam returned from out of town, he brought bad news about
never did find out what happened to his teeth.
Mrs. Latham.
Good evening, Adam.
Looks like it's the same thing here.
Adam, I'd like you to meet Miss Reagan Miller. This is Miss Amelia's sister. My brother Adam, Miss Reagan.
He knows about
How
her.
do you do?
How do you do?
Won't you sit down, Adam?
Thank you.
I hope you brought some good news about the mining venture.
Mining venture?
Hmm?
Adam, while you were away, Miss Amelia expressed some interest in investing.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm afraid it'll be an expensive installation, but I think it'll be practical.
Hey, Miss Reagan here just left San Francisco about 2 weeks ago. Now, I know it's getting to be a big town now, but I thought maybe you might have run into some of her friends there.
I knew very few mining people there, Hoss.
Well, I ran into quite a few people while I was there. Someday, maybe you can tell me who your friends are.
Yes,
Also just
maybe I can.
assuming everything's going to be peachy keen.
Ben, thank you for a wonderful evening.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, say, if Adam can get those figures over the house in the morning, I'll get a letter off to my broker in San Francisco. Going to have to convert some of my holdings.
Well, I think something could be arranged. Do you think so? 10 o'clock be convenient?
10 o'clock's fine. Reagan.
Good night, little Joe.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. Cartwright. Thank you for a very pleasant evening.
Well, the pleasure was all ours, Miss Reagan. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Miller.
Hoss is just beaming, isn't he?
Good night, Hoss. Thank you.
Good night, Miss Reagan. It's me that should be thanking you. This is one of the nicest evenings I ever remember. Night, Miss Amelia.
Good night, House.
Miss Reagan Miller.
Yeah. Don't you get no ideas either, brother. She's all staked out.
Staked out.
It's one of the sweetest little gals I ever met.
Well, you look at him, Pa. He's got the same expression as a steer that's just been poleaxed.
Polax, I don't know
That's
what that
probably the
means,
expression
but
I
I
had on my
can
face when I was quoting your mother.
take a wild
He's pretty
guess.
serious about her.
Well, it's about time one of you boys started thinking seriously of getting married.
Pa, you trying to get rid of me?
Hey, Paul, I was just thinking, since tomorrow's Saturday, I'm wondering if maybe tomorrow night we couldn't get some of the neighbors over here and have a little get-together and introduce Miss Reagan around, huh?
Well, I don't know, it's a little short notice, but...
So something I noticed about this before,
And if I'm
these
real lucky,
nighttime scenes
I
are
might
really
have a
pretty
little announcement to
dark.
make.
Hey, you son of a gun! Congratulations! We were just talking about that.
Yeah, Adam is not sharing that joy and jubilation. Because he knows something.
Good night, Reagan.
Amelia,
Yes?
could you come up?
Well, it's quite late.
Yes, I know that. I just don't think I can sleep.
Probably realize, of course, that Adam heard about you in San Francisco.
I know he did. I could tell the way he looked at me.
Yes, I noticed that too. He just couldn't seem to take his eyes off you all evening. Or aren't you worried about that?
No, not particularly.
Well, you should.
So we're left
You know, once Adam
to
tells Hoss
just
about you, that not only
imagine
ends your
that
chances with him, but all
she
my
must
plans
be
is
like
left.
a call girl
Well, he's not going to tell Hoss.
And what's to stop him?
or a hooker. I don't know. Same thing, I
I've yet
guess.
to meet the man that I can't handle.
Escorts.
Well, Adam is not as naive as Hoss.
He's still a man.
And men are your business, aren't they, Regan?
Yes. Yes, they are, Amelia.
Just remember this. The Ponderosa is my business.
What you don't seem to understand is I don't want the Ponderosa. I want Hoss.
Adam, I really would like to study these reports just a little longer.
All right, that's a good idea.
Sure you want to take a coffee?
No, thanks. I suppose Hoss got by and told you about the party tonight.
Oh, yes. He came by quite early to tell us about it.
So that's why I didn't see him at breakfast this morning. He is an early bird, isn't he?
Well, he's also one of the finest men I've ever had the pleasure to know.
I'd have to agree with you. Listen, I wonder if I could speak to your sister a minute.
Yes, certainly. She's out in the front yard.
Thanks. We'll see you tonight then.
Fine.
Yeah, it's amazing how their grass looks so cool out there. Or so good. And green.
Doesn't look like the same.
Because it'd be so hard to water out of a well.
You startled me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
What did you hear about me
But
in San
that's
Francisco?
Hollywood.
I think you and I both know the answer to that.
I suppose you've told Hoss.
No.
Well, thank you for that.
Don't flatter yourself. I did it for his sake, not yours.
Yeah, she
I
must
wouldn't
be
hurt
a
Hoss.
expensive.
Then why don't you stop
Call girl.
amusing yourself at his expense?
Is that what you think I'm doing?
Well, you are famous for the manner in which you amuse yourself, at least in San Francisco, and from what I've heard from other men.
No, it isn't true. I'm not like that.
Aren't you?
I did nothing to encourage those men.
And what about my brother?
What? Look at me. Do I look as though I'm going out of my way to beguile him? Do I look as though I'm trying to entice him or anybody else?
The road to the house.
I won't have you telling me what to do.
All right, then I'll tell him.
Tell him what? That the woman he loves is some special kind of monster? That I'm supposed to be responsible for every man that falls in love with me, but I'm not supposed to give any love back? I came here to get away,
They're really
to be
skirting
ugly, to be
around
plain,
the
to hide, to get away from everything I've
issue
been.
of being
And
a
I thought I
call
found something
girl.
here. I thought
I'm
I'd
sure
found someone
that
who didn't want me just as a
They
as
had
a
to do it
possession
that
display
way. You
or
couldn't
a prize to show how important he is.
say a word like
Someone who saw
pregnancy
past all
or
that and
anything like that.
wanted me just for myself. Can you understand that? Is that too much to ask?
It wasn't too long before this that they weren't even allowed to show a toilet on Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, I suppose it isn't.
You do
Oh,
understand,
that's
don't
funny.
you, Adam? You understand. All I'd ever wanted was to be loved.
Oh no! She is being very bad. And just in time for Eric Haas Cartwright to see it. Oh my goodness. And the look on his face says it all. I think that was kind of unexpected. If I were watching this for the first time, I would have been surprised that she did this. If she loves Haas so much.
It won't work.
What do you mean?
A woman who kisses the brother of the man she's going to marry the way you just kissed me, well, she's talking about a different kind of love.
Oh, Spilled my milk all
You
over
can't
my
really
pant
change what
leg.
you are, can you?
Not the whole thing, but pretty close. Oh, biff. Or a slap right in the face. Or if you're watching the old Batman series, it's biff. Pow. Oh my goodness. So now she's mad. And we're about to end this.
What are you doing? I'm getting ready for
In
the
about
party.
30 seconds.
Oh, strange. You don't act like you're in the party mood. So Regan Miller finally met her match, did she?
You think I failed with Adam, don't you? Well, maybe I did. But that's because it wasn't me out there. It was something that you tried to make me.
It will cost me a great deal of money, Regan. But I have waited years to see you finally meet a man you can't handle.
Well, Reagan is. She seems like a nice person, but she's really not. I don't know. I've never really quite understood her in this episode, but now she's gonna have to, in the last half of this, she's gonna have to deal with a very angry Hoss Cartwright. And it's gonna get pretty good here. And Hoss is in love with her, so I think you can kind of guess the way it's going to go. So that's going to be it for this. We'll come back later on and have another good dinner and finish this episode. And I do want to start. I did find Walter and the Outlaws, so I guess we'll do that one over the weekend and probably end there, because I don't think there's going to be, it's going to be hard to find. There's only a couple of more episodes I want to share, but they're going to be much later, and on this channel they're not available. But if I can find them, we'll do those sometime in the future. After this deal with my brother is gone, I won't be doing any food and conversations while he's here. So anyway, that's going to be it for now. Please like and subscribe and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.